They told him loyalty was everything, but loyalty is what killed him. Before I take you into this dark tale of trust, betrayal, and survival, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It helps a lot, and believe me, you don't want to miss how this story ends. The city of Hellcrest glittered at night, a skyline of steel and glass piercing the stars. Beneath the neon glow, secrets moved like shadows, whispered through alleyways and boardrooms alike. Ethan Ward had everything a man could want: wealth, power, and the love of a woman he trusted more than his own heartbeat. As CEO of one of the most powerful security corporations in the country, his name carried weight. But in Hellcrest, power was never safe. For months, Ethan had noticed cracks in his empire. Leaks of confidential data, competitors striking before deals were even signed, trusted employees turning against him with uncanny timing. It wasn't bad luck, it was sabotage. And the more he searched for the mole, the more one unthinkable possibility clawed at him. What if the traitor was someone he loved? The first real fracture appeared one rainy evening. Ethan sat in his penthouse, glass of scotch in hand, staring at the rain streaking down the vast windows. His fiancée, Elena Cross, wrapped in silk, approached him with a smile that once calmed every storm inside him. But tonight, her smile didn't reach her eyes. "You're distracted again," she said softly, sitting beside him. Ethan hesitated, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. "There's a leak. Someone close. Every move I make, it's like someone else already knows." Elena touched his hand gently. "You've been under so much pressure. Maybe you're seeing ghosts." But when she said it, her gaze flickered, just for a heartbeat, toward the phone on the table. And Ethan felt something inside him twist. The next day, his suspicions deepened. During a high-level meeting, his executive partner and lifelong friend, Marcus Hale, presented new contracts Ethan had never seen before. "These are opportunities we can't ignore," Marcus said, his voice calm but firm. But Ethan's eyes widened. The contracts bore the emblem of Blackstone Industries, his company's greatest rival, a conglomerate known for ruthless takeovers. "Why do you have these?" Ethan demanded. Marcus didn't flinch. "Because I negotiated them. For us." "You've been slipping, Ethan. Someone has to keep this company alive." The room went silent. It wasn't just betrayal. It was a coup. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He paced through the dark halls of his penthouse, questions gnawing at him. Marcus, Elena, was it possible they were both part of this? As if to answer, his phone buzzed with a hidden notification, a security alert from his private system. Unauthorized access detected. Location, his office. Time, to 13 a.m. Ethan grabbed his coat, rage and fear propelling him through the storming night. When he reached the office, the doors were already unlocked. The silence of the skyscraper felt heavier than any scream. And then he saw them, Marcus and Elena, standing together in the glow of the servers, her hand resting on his arm, his voice low, intimate. The betrayal was no longer a suspicion. It was real. The silence in the server room was suffocating. Ethan's breath caught as he stepped into the glow of the monitors. Elena turned, her eyes widening, but not with guilt, with calculation. "Ethan," she said smoothly, as if rehearsed, "you shouldn't be here." Marcus didn't move. His gaze was cold, stripped of the warmth of friendship. Ethan's voice was a blade. "You, both of you." Marcus finally spoke. "You built this empire on paranoia, Ethan. Always watching, always controlling. Did you really think loyalty lasts forever? You were too busy building walls to see the cracks beneath your feet." Elena's hand slid from Marcus' arm, but she didn't look away from Ethan. "You trusted me because you needed me. You never realized I had needs of my own." The words carved deeper than any wound. Security arrived, but not for Ethan. They surrounded him, his own men, now under Marcus' command. Within hours, Ethan Ward was stripped of his title, his accounts frozen, his name smeared in headlines. Fraud, corruption, treason. The empire he built was gone. His fiancée vanished from his side. And Marcus Hale was crowned as the new face of Hellcrest Security, announcing a strategic partnership with Blackstone Industries. The betrayal was complete. But Ethan did not die in the ashes. He disappeared. Months passed. The city forgot him, moving on under Marcus and Elena's reign. Together, they turned Hellcrest Security into a global titan, their images shining on magazines, their speeches broadcast across nations. They were power itself, unstoppable. Or so they thought. Whispers began. At first, just rumors. Executives tied to Marcus were found dead, each death staged like an accident. Data centers burned. Ships carrying weapons mysteriously sank at sea. And with each strike, a message appeared, painted on glass, carved into walls, whispered through encrypted networks, "I'm still here." Marcus dismissed it as a hoax. Elena, though, flinched each time she read the words. Because deep inside, she knew. Ethan Ward had returned. But he was no longer the man she remembered. He had become a ghost, living in the cracks of Hellcrest, moving through the underworld with precision and rage. The world called him a terrorist, a phantom. He called himself nothing. Only vengeance mattered. The first confrontation came in a skyscraper boardroom. Marcus sat smugly among global elites, presenting his next expansion plan, when suddenly the screens around the room flickered. His own voice echoed back, twisted and distorted. "You built this on betrayal. But betrayal never sleeps." The lights died. The doors locked. And when they reopened, half the board lay unconscious, their servers wiped clean. Marcus' empire began to crack. But Ethan wasn't after Marcus alone. He wanted Elena, the woman who had whispered love to him at night while planning his ruin. The woman whose smile had been his anchor and whose knife had been his undoing. She was his final reckoning. The confrontation came one rain-soaked evening, in the glass palace Marcus and Elena now called home. Ethan breached the mansion like a shadow, guards falling silently. He found her in the atrium, standing beneath a chandelier of crystal and light. She didn't scream. She didn't run. Instead, she smiled. "I wondered when you'd come back," she said. Ethan's voice was ice. "You ruined me." "No," Elena corrected softly. "I freed you. You were too blind to see the world for what it is. Loyalty is weakness, Ethan. Trust is a chain. I broke yours." He raised his weapon. His hand trembled, and she stepped closer, unafraid. "Kill me," she whispered, "but you'll never escape me. I live in every scar, every sleepless night, every breath you take." The moment stretched like eternity. And then Marcus appeared. Gunfire tore through the atrium. Glass exploded. Ethan dove, returning fire, rage flooding him. Marcus roared, his voice shaking the walls. "You should have stayed dead." The two men clashed in violence, fists and bullets and fury. Marcus fought with desperation, but Ethan fought with purpose. Years of betrayal sharpened his every move. And in the end, Ethan's blade cut true. Marcus fell, blood on marble, his last word a curse. Elena stood over his body, her face unreadable. For the first time, her composure cracked. Tears burned her eyes, not for Marcus, but for the chaos consuming everything. "You've destroyed it all," she whispered. Ethan stepped closer, his shadow swallowing hers. "No, I just finished what you started." Their eyes met, to souls bound forever by love turned poison. And then he walked away, leaving her alive, leaving her haunted, because death was mercy. And Ethan wanted her to live with the weight of her betrayal. The city of Hellcrest never recovered. The empire of Marcus and Elena collapsed, torn apart by whispers of ghosts and shadows. And Ethan Ward faded once again into legend. Some called him a villain, others a martyr. But in the silence of the city, his words lingered like smoke. Betrayal never sleeps. If you stayed until the very end, thank you. Stories like this remind us that sometimes the deepest scars aren't left by enemies, but by those we trust the most. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you want more tales like this. And remember, loyalty can be deadly.